right? Are we learning? Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Chamagero. That was really life-changing. Sometimes we think life-changing has to be ambiguous and huge and loud, and we miss the subtleness of the message and the importance of the message. I hope that we were able to pick each and everything that he's saying because it's all from his heart. Thank you so much. Yes, and I'm so glad to be here. We have very few minutes together because I have to be somewhere else, coming from somewhere else, running to somewhere else. But all protocol observed, thank you so much for the leadership in this place and arranging this. And just providing a platform for us to be able to learn, for us to be able to make better decisions, and for us to build better brands. Okay, so I'm here to talk about brand. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm Bahati. Everything else is background noise. Some of you are going to say background noise. So everything else is that. He was telling me of how he didn't get to celebrate my doctorate, but that is something that was in the scale of achievement. I'm like, I went to school late. I did everything late in life. But after doing everything late, I went to Champo late, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was in a world of confusion. I really wanted to be a people helper, but I didn't know what people helping means. That was before we even had any coaches or any counselors. Oh, I knew of any coaches and any counselors in town, apart from my professors and the psychologists at Champo. I didn't know anyone that was doing this, but I knew I wanted to transform people's lives, but I just didn't know how. So I get to Champo with my husband, we were still dating then, he wanted me to do finance. And because he has companies and he's thinking, if you do finance, then we're going to be safe. And I'm thinking, wait until I come back and drop the news on you, I selected something different. So I went into the world of counseling, and I promised myself, because I did not have the luxury of failing, but again, I did not have the luxury of stopping at any moment, saying that, you know what, I have arrived. That was nowhere on my scope. And so I knew that if I wanted to have a better life, or even have my siblings have a better life, or anyone that will ever bump into me to have a better life, I really needed to be better. So I pushed myself onto a master's, to a PhD. I kept pushing myself, but not for the titles, but the transformation. And for any woman out there to know that anything is figure-outable and anything is achievable if you put your mind to it. Because we resign so early, so many times, and think, you know what, if I can get married and then go and somewhere and give birth to 7 children or 8 children, I have arrived. Some of you, because of the butterflies, because of the love, and we just, as the flower is budding, someone comes and nips it. Okay? And so we do this to ourselves, we self-sabotage ourselves. I know we are not on the same journey. It's possible that your journey is not taking you to a PhD, it's not taking you to a doctorate. It's very possible that your journey, by the way, it's okay for your journey to even stop at a postgraduate, to even stop at a bachelor's, to even stop at a certificate level. We all have different journeys. But let me tell you, someone with a certificate can even perform way better than one with a doctorate. Self-belief. How you build a brand that is going to flourish. No one ever told me you will make it. I did not wait for external validation, for someone to come and believe me and say, or give me a prophecy, oh, I have seen you have a very huge future, if you can only do this. No, I did not wait for the end to be told to me. I ventured with a step of faith and self-belief. And that is all I have in my bag. So if anyone has achieved it, I will achieve it. If anyone can be anything, let me tell you, just have a reverence, special reverence for your eyesight and faith. Because for as long as your mind can see something, and you just have a question of how did they do it? Are they any special? Are they any different? Do they have blue blood? Principles, they make us all equal. Whether you're poor, whether you're blue, whether you're black, whether you're tall, principles. So the principle of sowing and reaping, that you will reap what you sow, it can never be changed. Not by anyone. Not by any religion, not by any prophet, not by any law in any country. The principle of sowing is if you put your effort, if you give it your best, if you sow, you will reap. So I believed in myself and I went sowing. Number 2, better decisions. After believing in yourself, remember when you believe in yourself, you feel you can achieve anything. You just feel like, you know what, I just need to figure out what it is I need to achieve. And I just want us to go through, what should I term them as? Getting unstuck. Because the moment you believe in yourself, that is when you ask yourself, am I supposed to be where I am? Or I'm supposed to be in a different place? If I'm supposed to be in a different place, what's keeping me where I am? And how do I get out of there? Because you want to build a brand. So that is why you ask yourself, what are the character traits that I need? Number 1, getting yourself unstuck. You have believed in yourself, yes, that is not enough to get you there. You need to make better decisions. But in order to make those better decisions, you need to know, what don't I have that I need? Is it the perseverance? Because when you believe in yourself, then you have to keep at it. You don't believe in yourself today and then tomorrow. That means you believe in yourself consistently. You commit. You get determined. So you ask yourself, do I have these character traits inside of me? Oh, I'm the kind, and some of you have even resigned, you're here to just do exams and just a pass and then move on to the next thing. How many of us believe that? I know there are many. Some of you are not going to raise your hands. Some of you don't know the reason as to why you are here. I have never been there. You don't. You're here, you're waiting on your boyfriend's call at around 6 so that you can take him out, and the weekend will be massive. But guess what? There's someone who is thinking, I am going to build this brand, whether it wants it or not. So I am going to do my research, I am going to read, I am going to follow the right people online, I am going to listen to the right content, I am going to feed my faith and starve my fear. That is how I go on. So you ask yourself, what are those character traits that I need? I was the kind, I do something and it just doesn't happen, or it's not going my way, I curve back, or I crawl back into my shell. And then I learned that, by the way, I have to take the ego out of this equation. If I want to build a brand and an ego cannot dwell in the self-statement. So I have to take my ego out. How dare they? How dare they? Everyone has the audacity. They can do anything that they want. They have brains, they think. So, because then when someone commented, and this era of social media, someone says something and you're like, maybe I should not go back. Or someone just does it, like, by the way, we are petty as someone not liking your content. And then you just stop posting or even showing up. You do a live and you're like, guys, let's wait for people to come in. There's one who told me, one of my mentees, I have an accelerated mentorship program for coaches and consultants and writers. And so she told me, you know what, I opened up a live session on Instagram, and no one turned up, and she had invited an expert to come and share her knowledge. So the expert was like, but you told me you have a company, and you told me that you are, you are a brand, and you told me that, and she was like, you know what, just hold on, let's keep talking, people will come in. And she said, she prayed on that live session, she was like, God, please don't shame me. And before you know it, she says 30 minutes into the live session, that is when people actually started coming in. And so she came to me saying, I don't think these live things are for me. I was like, it's okay. If you think it's not for you, don't do it. No one is pushing you to do it. Because that is supposed to be a personal endeavor. You're supposed to love it. You're supposed to be passionate about it. So the character traits, I want you to check yourself. What don't you have that you need, and what do you have in small doses that you need to increase? If you need more patience, if you need more commitment, if you need more consistency, if you need more focus. Some of you don't have the focus. Some of you are here but you're watching other videos on your phones. But you pay your money and you showed up. And you're like, but if I don't show up, then you'll say I'm not a serious psychologist. You're not here for anyone. You are here for you. Okay? You can't build a brand when you are focused on 1,000 things. You can't. So if it's a character trait of focus that you need, get the focus. If what you need is integrity, some of you are here living with the Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then one day you're going to appear to speak at a place and you'll find there's six people that you have slept with. So if you think that integrity is something that you need to borrow and put into your bag, please borrow it. Huh? So that is character traits. Just look for any character traits. If you decide to write character traits, you'll write like 100 of them or even 200 of them. Okay? I've just mentioned a few things. But the things that you need, if you don't have them, get them. If you have them in small doses, increase them. Number 2, competence. Some of us don't do the things that we are supposed to do because we just don't know how to do them. That is why we are here. So when we say that in order to build a brand, you need to be crystal clear about the person that you are serving. Guys, I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to bring these things because I have a full package and I have limited time because I need to be out of here. So follow closely. Okay? Competence. So if you say that in order for you to build a brand, you need to be crystal clear about your client, about your customer. But for psychologists and social workers and counselors, that is an avatar. Because you want to build a brand. And a brand is not something that really just serves one person. Yes, you can serve one person, but a brand is quite bigger than you. It's like a legacy. A brand is something that long after you have left this place, or long after Mr. Chamadero has left this place, you're going to have an impression of who he was. Long after you leave this place, you're going to say, I met Bahati, and this is what Bahati says. This is who she represents. And some of you have already judged me. You've judged my weight, you've judged what I'm putting on, you've judged everything. You're judges who are so proud. We all are as human beings, by the way. It's not just, we all are. It's like, is she that short? I have seen her on TV. I thought she was petite and small. Gosh, she's huge. You know, like your brain can be dramatic. It's a full cinema happening. It's a full premiere happening in your brain right now. But it's okay. So you understand, have that clarity of who your avatar is. You want to build a brand, right? That goes beyond your bedroom. That goes beyond your classmates. The moment you understand who your avatar is, and sometimes, by the way, you will even be so natural. When I started, no one took me through the model of understanding how to create a brand. I stumbled literally on everything. And so according to what I say and how I positioned myself, because I was like, I have to be authentic. That is the other thing. Your brand has to be authentic. You don't have to study anyone else and then you come and speak like them. You don't have to copy what they like and then you come and take it as your own. No. It's very possible. There are people that have amazed me. Some of my mentees have amazed me that someone can come and pay to do a course and then all they want is to work with children. They come with a totally different, oh, I want to be a relationship coach, oh, I want, because they see it's the one training. Now when they come and we go through the nitty-gritties of defining who their avatar is, they find that their purpose was born out of pain, and because it was born out of pain, they are still stuck in their childhood, and they want to speak to this, to themselves, when they were 5 years old. So now, everything they say and all their energy, if you give them a platform to speak, they will speak to a girl. They will speak to a girl who is a teenager and tell them your dreams matter. And because that's what they are passionate about. So they are not a relationship coach. No. Their avatar is that girl. Some people want to speak to parents. Because sometimes our purpose is born out of what the things that we have gone through. Okay? Now, we're not going to, because if we talk about all this, it will take too long. You have to find your purpose and what you're really passionate about. Because what you're passionate about is the foundation for your brand. Okay? Because you will dream it, you will sleep it, you will wake up and breathe it as it will saturate you. Some of you are here, you're fashionistas. You're not counselors, you're not psychologists, you're not social workers, you are fashionistas. Every time you go to downtown, you pick matching things, you know, so your friend also saying, unless someone so picks something for me, there is no way I'm going to put it on. So now you have become a consultant in a particular area, and then you're going to get so lost because I did psychology, so I have to go and speak to people, but every time you hold a microphone, your legs are like this. Every time you hold a microphone, you feel like words are not flowing. But maybe it's just not your thing. Some of you here are actually decorators. Yes, you're supposed to do, what is it called? Interior decoration? Some of you are so interior designing. Some of you are so gifted. When you go to a place, you see curtains that are not matching, you see things that are not matching and everything else. And you can actually do it. And sometimes you find that in your family, they call you to do. Some of you here are chefs. Kulumbe, jam. Birthday party, jam. And by the way, you do it perfectly well and crochet can, because it's just decided. You just love cooking. And then you're here, God suffers with us. God, I want to build a brand. I want to speak to people. I want to speak to throw a hand like this, and everyone is falling or everyone is happy. Meanwhile, your calling is actually not to even be a public speaker. You're supposed to be cooking, and that is where your breakthrough is going to come from. Because if you misalign yourself and misposition yourself, breaking even is very hard. Very hard. So so many people are building brands in wrong careers. They're building brands in wrong passions. They're building brands in wrong callings. And your calling or your brand can actually change. You start with one thing, and then you evolve and grow into a different thing. It's possible that the different thing that you're growing into is not really the same, but again, sometimes it's the same. I will give you an example. I have one of my coaching community, one person that came in, and she wanted to talk to children. She really, really is so passionate about children. But again, when we came to the evaluation, pen on paper, I told her, who of these children has phones to watch your videos? Who of these children is going to have money to come and pay for your seminars? So that means you have to be able to be very strategic as a brand to know that I can target parents and those parents can give me their children. Because if I speak about the things that affect children and I am targeting parents, then the parent is going to find out, oh, my child is a very hard nut to crack, or my child is very unhygienic, or my child does not listen, or my child... So you are actually seeking, because after finding your avatar, your client and your customer, the next thing is understanding their pain points. Write that down. Pain points. What do they need? People need so many things. What do they need? they're suffering with mental illness, what do they need? How can I get to them? And understanding what they need, you also understand who they are. Because we could be two people that are dealing with the same kind of avatar, but someone else is dealing with the high end and someone else is dealing with the mass. So position is also different. So if you understand their pain points and you're like, you know what, there are women, when I just started this, my main thing was really to address antagonistic relationship, high conflicting, toxic and narcissistic relationships. And that is because it was a pain of mine. I first-hand witnessed it in my home while growing up. And so I knew that every woman that was living under a narcissistic man or living with a narcissistic man, chances are they were giving up on life and they were giving up on their children. And I was like, you know what, my mother was a strong person that she did not give up on us. I do not want to sit and watch any woman give up on her children, let alone give up on herself. So my campaign was geared towards empowering women, and that is why I wrote Deliberately Selfish. You have to think about yourself, choose yourself, take care of yourself in order to nurture anyone else in your life. You cannot give what you do not have. And so many women, as in, garner the strength to even speak up, to even stand up for themselves. And I know so many men in Kampala hated me, and they're like, that woman, I was like, hey, the moment you have a valuable woman with you, then you have gold. You can grow. So a man who does not want their woman to grow is a man who is insecure, not self-sufficient, and who is just egocentric and self-serving. And some of you have boyfriends like that. And they're just boyfriends. Boyfriends. My engagement ring, keep it or go and send it. Sorry? So guys, when I came out with this, I'm still doing it. Yes, I have other fields that I have ventured in, but it is my main passion that I do not want to see. Now, it's not just the women that I'm concerned about. Have you seen the amount of men suffering in this generation? Suddenly, frustrated. Because when I started with the ladies, the men started coming in and saying, "Do not tell anyone." I was like, I have you back. Even if I focus somewhere, I'll pretend that I don't know. But they were going through a lot under narcissistic and toxic partners. Now, I knew who my avatar was. I had a center of focus. When you have a center of focus, you realize that by default, there are so many people that are going to come in that are not your center of focus. But you cannot say that my business is for everyone. No, you can't say you serve everyone. Then you're not going to serve anyone. So serve a particular people, and you will see that there is more needs that people are coming with, but they know your center of focus. So know your avatar, know where they live, where they buy things, how much can they afford. Because then we have to talk about pricing. We don't have to talk about branding for feel good. No, it has to be passion, purpose, and paycheck. That is the end. You have to earn from your brand. From your brand. So you ask yourself, where do I even start? How much do I price? By knowing who they are and where they live. Where they shop, where they take their children to play. You know, what are their problems? Because and it takes a lot of effort to penetrate into their market, to understand them, to speak their language, and for them to feel understood, and for them to feel safe, to open up to you, and for them to keep coming back. Because if it's a brand where people just do a one-time buy and they disappear, they say, never. It has to be a brand that can be, people can refer back to it and say, you know what, because I get clients. Back then, more 15 years ago, when I just started, there are people that I worked on that up to now, they're still coming back to me. Whenever they run into something and they're like, some of them just call me and say, you know what, I just need to have an intellectual conversation with someone. An intellectual conversation with someone. And they'll just pay for a cup of tea at Serena. And an hour is 500,000.
That is the intellectual talk.
Intellectual talk for 45 minutes or they want someone who challenges them. They want to create something. Maybe they're CEO of a company. They want to create something, but they want someone who can punch holes into it, who can show them different dimensions and different angles, and they can be able to make a better decision. And that's all they want. So they know that yes, you're doing relationships. They know that yes, you're into personal growth and leadership. But again, they know that you have a brain, and they can pick on you. So, in as much as you have a center of focus as a brand, you must be with information. You must be knowledgeable. Because chances are your brand is intersecting with so many other things. Okay? As you work on relationships, the people in relationships are suffering with their children. And they have businesses. It doesn't mean that you should know everything about everything, but be knowledgeable. Okay? And then create a brand that can outlive you. I know that at this moment, its chances are you are just going to be a brand that is in a briefcase, and you're the CEO, you're the manager, and you're the receptionist, everything in one person. But after some time, I started like that. Right now, I have a team. You have a media team, you have an events team, you have teams and people that want to serve under your vision and want to learn and want to create their own brands. And I'm so big on that. And I usually tell these people that, you know what, I want us to build your brand to the level that you outgrow me. To the level that I can't even pay you, that I can't afford you. And I will shake hands with you and I will say, let's collaborate. But venture out and do your own thing. So there's so many things that we can talk about a brand. But find clarity. Who do you want to serve? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? Last Friday I was talking to a lady and she came in. The problem was she was living a job after job and after job and after job. And so she thought that it's a job that was her problem. On the show I asked her, I want you to be very honest with me. What is your problem? Because your problem is not a job. I want you to think. I don't want to think. Because again, as psychologists and counselors and coaches, you are supposed to be a facilitator. You're not supposed to provide solutions because your clients know what they want. They have answers. So you facilitate that they get the answers. They become very honest with themselves so that they can be able to put these things into practice. And she looked at me and said, I think my problem is attitude. My outlook on life. I give up so easily. And the second problem is I think I'm misplaced. My passion is not in the medical industry because that is what I went to school for. I think I want to talk to people, but I don't know how to start. So you will keep going. She kept going from job to job. And that is where the problem comes in. I do some human resource support sometimes whenever I have time. And you find so many people that are misplaced. And the reason that's why they're not performers is because they're just not even passionate about what they're doing. As in, they're in medical, they will even give you wrong medicine. Have you seen a nurse with a bad attitude? They come dragging their feet like this. They even come and just throw medicine there for you to take. But have you ever seen a nice nurse? A sweet nurse? You will even tip them for what they have done. They will ask, did you get hot water? They'll be like, I know you have hot water. Yes, let me go and bring it for you. Did you sleep well? They will even know your name. And they will know 100 other patients in the same hospital. They will know their names. They'll come, hey, Petro, don't Charlie one. You've seen those nurses. Oh, Charlie one, really? No, they might need to work is a choice. I don't need lunch. You for what I got then again, I got to wash that for me. So, passion, okay? I want you to be very honest with yourself. Your assignment, if you have not yet phoned, go back and understand what are you passionate about. The last thing that I'm going to say in this forum is, you cannot light a candle and hide it under the bed.
True.
You cannot have a passion and a purpose and stay with it and silent with it and just share it with your half-boyfriend. That can't happen. So I want you to raise your candle and make as much noise as you can. Even if that noise has mixed signals or it is not yet direct or it is not yet proper, I want you to open up pages, okay? Be on social media. We have a free platform. Do you know what's going to happen? If you do not create a brand right now, in this decade, chances are you are going to get lost somewhere because the traffic. Have you seen the traffic on the internet? Have you seen the messages people are pushing out every day? The amount of content. I am pushing out 10 videos in a day. What are you doing? So when the time that you will raise up and you'll be like, you know what, I want to do this, I want to tell you and let me break the news to you. People that are not psychologists are doing your job on the internet and they're doing it better. They have never stepped in school to be counselors and they're counseling people. Apparently these days everyone can do anything. So when you're thinking, let me first graduate, let me first get a bachelor's is nothing. Credentials and papers are nothing. They add value to you, they give you the knowledge, but the knowledge without activating and execution is zero. So open those pages. When the Facebook asks you what's on your mind, tell them what's on your mind. What do you want your avatars to read that day? It's possible they're going through, a heartbreak. What do you want them to hear? Okay? Tell them things are going to be okay. These two shall pass, even if it's one sentence. One person is going to not commit suicide because of that one statement they read. That is the power of media. And we're taking it for granted, and then you're thinking, when I grow up, I will pay for TV. Guess what? If no one is watching you on social media, no one is going to watch your TV. Because TV is phasing out. You tell someone to watch TV, they will tell you, give me a link. Yeah. That's where we're headed. So you have a free media, and all you're thinking about, they invite me on radio stations and on TV stations. I tell my coaching community, until I see 50 videos from you, until I see growth in public speaking, until I see, I'm not giving you any TV and radio. Because we do not do trial and error. On social media, you can do all the trial and error. You can take a picture with you, just your nose, and put it there. No one will say anything. It's your social media. Whoever says anything, you can block. You have the right. But on national TV, okay, so you can't light a candle and put it under. I need you to be able to scream your message. I need you to be able to formulate posts every day. I need you to be able to put on that ITEL camera and say something into that camera. If you don't know what to speak, I want you to speak to a person that is 10 years younger than you. Address yourself 10 years younger. Speak to that girl. All the mistakes that she has done, all the hopes that she has, all the dreams that she has, start somewhere. And as you start somewhere, your message is going to become clearer, your message is going to become more focused, because practice, it actually improves. Okay? So I need you to get on and work. A brand is built. It does not build itself. And it has to be intentional, willful, and deliberate. I love you all. I hope that you can build those brands. I've been able to juggle here and there. But on the issue of character traits, competence, and confidence. No. In the character traits, that's the integrity, focus, and all that. Get them, get the competence, the knowledge to do something. If you don't know how to bake a cake, know how to bake a cake. Go and learn. Number 3 is confidence. Some of us don't do what we have to do because we lack the confidence. Okay? So, find the confidence. Do it while you're shaking, and eventually you will do it. Do it afraid. You don't need to for everything to be perfect. No, go ahead and do it. I love you guys.
Thank you very much. Just one statement. You have a line with relationships with this generation. Just one comment, because I know we invited her to speak about building a brand, but when it comes to relationships, you can build a brand. So just one statement.
By the way, he's very right. Your relationships can break the brand. Let me just get my hand just short while. Your relationships can make or break you. The moment you have a wrong person in your life, that person is going to drag you down, right? We believe that? And then if you have the right person in your life, they are going to be the wind beneath your wings. They're going to push you higher and higher and want you to keep growing, okay? So I need you to be able, I think one word that I'm going to leave for you when it comes to relationships. Okay, I must have left my hanky in the car. Okay, that's okay. One word that I want to leave with you, and I just want us to briefly go through it, is reflection. Okay? Some of us are busy running into relationships. We love the idea of being in relationships. Or some of us are busy running away for dear life out of relationships. But we never have the courage to stop and pause and reflect on this relationship. Think about what you are thinking. Acknowledge your feelings, because that is how you can see the red flags. And that is how you can see that this relationship is good. I am the one who is down or this. Yes. Be honest. Because there is having a good person in your life, and you're saying, I was told that brown men are not sweet. As in, just tell yourself that, you know what, I am just stupid. Stupid is not an insult. It is refusal to learn. Have you seen nice men, how they suffer? And there is a tendency of nice men falling in love with bad girls. Because, and by the way, you will tell a nice man, leave the bad girl alone. But the nice man, that is what they are attracted to. From A to Z, even if you preach to them, even if you somersault. So, I want you to stop. I want you to breathe. Your current relationship or marriage, I want you to make a good reflection. The courage to stop and say, this is abusive. And say, this is supportive, but I think I have not been confident enough to say what I want in this relationship. I think this relationship silences me or requires me to be a doormat in order for my partner to be dominant so that we can stay in this relationship. We are not equal. When you say that, okay, I have not been submissive as a woman, but my husband has been loving, nonetheless, I need to change my ways. Or to say that, you know what, I have submitted and submitted, but I don't think my husband loves me. And it is so hard to submit to someone who does not love you. It's like teaching a child to swim in a swimming pool that has no water. Because then love is the lubricant for submission. Let me tell you, love a woman and she will do anything, unless you've loved the wrong one. But when you love the right woman, she will go to heaven and back for you. She will cross the oceans for you. She will nurture you. She will ground you. She will pray for you. She will believe in you and she will push you. And she will never want to go anywhere without you. But love a wrong one, you will be like a goat that is being taken for slaughter without its knowledge. So reflect, evaluate. 2 words, reflect and evaluate. I know it takes a lot of courage, but have the courage to stand still. Okay? And say, I need to pause, I need to think straight. I don't need to make up things. You know, some of you have made up things. And you're like, he loves me, but maybe he just doesn't know how to love me. What is that? He loves me, but he grew up in a very bad home. So are you going to parent him again so that he can learn how to love you or how to respect you? Not just love, but respect you and be loyal. Because the 5 pillars, and these are much needed if you are in the service industry, is for someone to be your friend, someone to be loyal to you, someone to be committed to you, someone to respect you, and someone to be committed. 5 pillars of a good relationships. If you don't have any of them, friendship, commitment, loyalty, what else did I say? Respect, friendship. Then there is something wrong. If you're a friend to someone, you will never backstab them. If you're loyal to someone, you will want the best for them. If you respect someone, you will be there for them. If you're committed to someone, you will do anything to make sure that they grow and they flourish in life. So even if you find yourself in a bad relationship, or even a marriage, let me spoil you a bit. No one imprisoned you in that marriage. I know that for all, how can it work? How do we make it work? But there are times I will look at you in the eye and tell you have nothing to work with. You are alone in this marriage and you've been alone for the past 5-15 months and you're dying of depression. Choose yourself. Okay? And sometimes choosing yourself can look like ignoring certain things and giving yourself the peace of mind. Yeah? And minding your business. Drink your water, mind your, and grow. Come on.